All right. Well, good morning. This is another.
No,
This is
the video.
the
Can we
video.
get out and
Oh,
redo the video
no, we're
again?
just gonna. Let's just
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
here. So, hey,
It's
good morning. Welcome to
okay.
Real Estate Backstory for July
Oh,
13th. My
it's
name is.
Monday.
It is Monday. It's Monday all day, and this is July 13th. My name is Alan Rich. I'm the managing broker here at MX1 Realtor Partners.
I'm Ming Richardson, the compliance broker here at MX1 Realty and Realtor Partners.
So we really appreciate you joining us today. And so we every week we kind of expose the soft underbelly of the real estate world here in the Atlanta real estate market. And so this is our what's going on this week. And so, everyone is talking about the second wave kind of thing. And that's kind of where we're kind of jumping into it right now. We know that, coronavirus is kind of surging in the numbers. But we're not health professionals, so we're not here to try and speak to how deadly or not deadly or any of that. We're not getting political about this at all, but we do need to make sure that as a business owner that you guys are
Making
prepared.
sensible, educated,
Decisions
decisions.
and are wise about what's going on with your company. So, this past week, NAR put out a survey asking for information about how realtors are feeling right now. And so they asked, how prepared do you feel for a second wave or a continuing threat from COVID-19? And the vast majority of agents are feeling somewhat prepared or very prepared kind of thing. Right at around 60% feel very comfortable. About 15% feel not prepared enough. 3% are not at all prepared, which I'm not sure how. I guess they were living in a cave kind of thing. Sorry. But 8% are like, it's not going to impact my business at all in any way, shape, or form. So we end up with about 2/3 of agents that are really feeling comfortable about what's going on. And personally, we feel that really comes from the fact that right now the real estate market is basically hot. Whereas I feel like commercial real estate is heavily driven by the market, residential real estate is driven by supply and demand. And we are definitely in an issue where we have way more demand than we have supply right now.
Absolutely.
So, as far as, how concerned are you about a second wave or a continuing wave? When it comes to the market kind of thing, the vast majority of folks are kind of worried so long as the market continues to recover kind of thing. And so again, this is just more information to kind of help agents are pretty much across the board on this one when it comes to how concerned they are, about their second wave coming. One thing that we have seen are what are the features that today's buyer are looking for in a post-COVID area kind of thing. And so, probably 2/3 of everybody says not much has changed. 65% of our buyers and sellers are the criteria really hasn't moved that much. But if you're looking to really help your property stand out, home offices, like in your marketing description, talk about home offices, any kind of extra space that you have. Larger homes are definitely a bigger plus right now. We're seeing a lot more people looking for square footages. If your yard has a garden, nearly 11% of folks are looking for a yard. So yard for fruit and vegetables, yard for exercise, bigger kitchens, broadband internet access. I'm not sure. This is a nationwide thing because I think most everybody here in the Atlanta area has really good access to that kind of thing. There's also a big uptick in the desire for swimming pools. For years it's been a swimming pool was a either or kind of thing. Like most of our buyers either would take only wanted a house with a pool or wanted a house without a pool, and we've seen the demand for swimming pools where people don't have to go out as much and they want to have it in their own backyard much higher as well. A couple of things from the survey that also pointed out is that if you're going to really be serving your clients, there's some new technology that you really have to adopt. And we've seen a lot of agents that have really started adopting this technology, and the ones that have, it's paying off for them really, really big. And so if you haven't, it's time to catch up. You need to be on here. So Zoom and video technology, that's here. This is on Zoom, what we're doing right here. And so this is important that you are comfortable with this, with these video platforms and being able to communicate clearly to your clients. Virtual tours, if you're not doing virtual tours, you are killing your listings right now, because virtual tours are a really, really big deal kind of thing. And not just virtual tours, but live virtual tours where you take people through and you kind of walk them through the house and show them all the way. And then even going as far as into virtual open houses, 60% are looking for virtual open houses to where they can just sit and kind of go through the house and see what's going on and that kind of thing. One other thing that we kind of want to touch on, and this is a little bit of a controversy right now kind of thing. And so my feeling is get used to masks. I'm not going to get political about, is it your right? Should you do it? We went through COVID the first round kind of thing.
Right.
And the government shut everything down. And that really, and that hurt real estate, hurt the economy. And so I guess our general feeling is if wearing a mask will make everyone feel better and I can keep my businesses up and running, then I'm going to wear a mask kind of thing. And so, this is definitely a personal decision, but I'm just going to tell you that my basic feeling is that if it helps, if me wearing a mask helps keep the economy rolling, I'm wearing a mask kind of thing. So if you choose not to, that's okay with, but we're seeing a lot of cities that are passing it right now. And so,
especially the high trafficking resort locations are now requiring masks in restaurants. When you go to a buffet bar, you have to wear a mask while you're getting the food along with the gloves. So, just be safe and be smart.
The other thing I think is go out and get some real estate masks. If you're going to wear a mask, may as well put some marketing on that sucker. So get you some real estate live, real estate's my hustle, that kind of thing. And so we're actually going to be adding some of these to MX1 Marketplace here really soon. So, this week on MX1 Training, for CE classes, we have 2 CE classes. I'm teaching on Wednesday, the Ultimate Listing System, so you can catch it on Zoom. It's also going to be on Workplace as well. And then on Thursday, Marcy Evans is teaching Weird Contract Forms, Agency Agreements, Exhibits. That's a really great class, and that's also going to be
especially for those of you that has not practiced for a while. Look at these forms because it makes a difference.
And some of those forms are just bizarre. Some of them you're like, I never even knew that was in there kind of thing. So Tech Thursday this week. So Tech Thursday this week is Miss Minging. So.
Yep, I will be hosting Paperless Pipeline to go over some of the functionalities as well as make your life a little easier. Paperless Pipeline is designed to help you with deadlines and warning dates. And those are there for you to use simply because I know if you get into more than 3 or 4 transactions, you're going to lose count of who's the attorney, who's the lender, what are my due dates for certain things. And that's what Paperless Pipeline does. He actually sent you an alert every morning about a certain thing that's coming up to do. So utilize them.
All right. Next up is we have a brand new max1market.com. And so for those of you that are MX1 agents, if you'd like to get your MX1 swag on kind of thing, we've got a whole store that we put in place for you guys to be able to get basically anything. And we will be adding masks in here. We're also going to be making some non-branded stuff, which, like Real Estate Queen and those kind of things that we'll be adding.
Real Estate Life,
we'll be adding a lot more stuff to it. But now we just wanted to have a very convenient place for our for our agents to be able to, show off their spirit kind of thing and have some cool. So. Each week we go through the news and we scour what's happening in the real, as far as real estate news kind of thing. And so, we're going to jump right into where we have been kind of going each week, and that is how much lower can mortgage rates go? Yeah. And so, pretty soon they're just going to be paying us to take out mortgages. I mean,
the bonds right now.
Yeah, the 30-year fixed rate is 3.03%,
That's
and
incredible.
it's down point eight of a point, which sounds weird when you say it that way, but it's we keep seeing this drop, 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 and this is what's fueling our buyers right now.
Because your buyer can actually afford a much higher price point home now with a lower interest rate than they could with a higher interest rate with less sale price.
Yeah. So inventory is really, really tight for sure, but the fact is that they can get money so cheaply that their buying power is hugely
Mm-hmm.
increased. They can own more home than they would be able to own because at some point the rates are going to go back up.
Absolutely.
Mortgage applications, on the other hand, are also rising, and this is we're really kind of excited about this. This is a really good sign because normally this time of year mortgage applications start to taper off a little bit
Right.
because now people are like if you were trying to move before fall, most people have
Have already
have already done
applied.
that and, and,
Right.
and already applied. And so our crystal ball says right now that we're looking at a pretty strong fall, probably the strongest fall we may have ever had, kind of thing. And mortgage applications is one of those,
Indicator.
yeah, leading indicators. And right now, mortgage applications are up 33% from last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, over a third over last year. That number is staggering when you think about it. That means that we'll have a third more buyers than we did last year at this time or in the next coming months. So this is a really great thing to happen. The other thing that's happening with, as part of those mortgage rates is that we're getting bidding wars. We're getting a lot more bidding wars, kind of thing. There's several markets where that's happening. It's happening. We're seeing it happen here. And so there's a couple of things that you want to like what are the things that you can do to help your listing, not your listing, but your
Yes.
buyers
Right.
stand out, and so our favorite three things are buyer letters, getting your clients as pre-approved and all the way through underwriting, and the last one is going in with a larger
Earnest money.
earnest money amount. On the other side of that, we're seeing that when you have listings, you're getting multiple offers. You have to have a good system for communicating with the agents, because agents are getting really anxious, and like when you're going into a multiple offer scenario, as a buyer's agent, it's a tough place to be. As a listing agent, it's a really nice
Great.
place to be, but you got to
Yes.
make sure that we're getting some good communication going on there as well. The number of borrowers in forbearance dropped last week, huge. It was almost 500,000 people, came out of forbearance last week, and so that was probably that's the best week we've ever had. For 2 weeks it's been going down. You can see kind of what the trend's been running, but last week was huge, like big time
Mm-hmm.
huge, and so that's a really good point. But one area that's not doing so good, and that is in rent. Fewer U.S. tenants paid July's rent. Rent is getting cheaper. So if you have, if you represent investors, a lot of your investors for rental properties, their rent rolls are going to be going down, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a fear that only about 30% of renters will be able to make next month's payment. And what we're seeing is that the market, or the unemployment, is hitting the tenants, the renters, much harder than they're hitting folks that have, like if you can afford to buy a home, you probably have not been impacted nearly as bad. But the folks that are renting, those are the folks who have been hit much harder, kind of thing, overall, with the way that the economy is right now.
And also, y'all keep remember that the federal grant for COVID-19 will end on July
31st.
31st.
Yep.
So that's going to take another impact here shortly.
So we'll see where that goes. 61% of Americans say now is the best time to buy. And
Absolutely.
honestly, we really agree. We feel like we are in one of those really great times where it's great to be a buyer. It's also great to be a seller. Property values are continuing to increase, days on market are down, and mortgage rates are historically low. So it's a great time to be a buyer. It's a great time to be a seller. And we're not the only ones saying it. 61% of Americans say now's
Mm-hmm.
the right time to buy, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
We got home builders that are reporting record sales in June, and we really need that. We need the builders to really be reporting much higher building levels right now. Construction hiring surged last month, and they're looking. You know, we had layoffs
And
mainly.
and right now, just so you know, to get someone to do minor repair is hard to come by. So
Yeah, any contractors right now.
is
If there's a
swamped.
yeah, it's a good day to be a contractor in the
In this
market right
season
now.
right
Right?
now.
Yeah.
And so when you are negotiating repair, please make sure you allow enough time for your seller to get those things done, because I can tell you right now, everybody is busy.
And everyone's hiring right now. So there is not a builder that is not hiring at the moment. So, but that's really good news because we need that inventory.
Inventory.
We don't have enough properties to sell right now. And as soon as and when a new construction home comes on the market, that starts the entire process going, kind of thing. And as it continues to move, home continues to sell the fastest pace in 2 years. Okay. We are rolling right now, kind of thing. And so this is Zillow's most recent market information, which came out, and you can see what our for sale inventory is down by 22%. So we've got 33% more buyers and 22% less inventory. So we got nearly a 50% swing here going on. So anyone that's looking to sell, we need to be reaching out to them because now's a really good time to sell. You know, one other thing is that, you know, while there is a lot of negative things going on with COVID, you know, it has caused nearly 1 in 5 Americans to relocate due to what's going on, kind of thing. So, you know, right now we are seeing that while it is a negative in a lot of ways, for real estate, things are not really that bad right now on the front. I'm not trying to take advantage of anyone that's paying, kind of thing, and I'm not trying to poo-poo it by any means, kind of thing. But the fact is that for our industry, you know, right now things are moving really, really fast. Matter of fact, Realtor.com reported the fastest traffic or the highest levels of traffic on their listings ever. So in June, they had 86 million unique users, which was higher than May's number. And so, you know, right now we have the general buying public is really, really interested in properties and what's on the market out there. And so this is one of those where we need to be really wise about it too. You know, Realtor.com is keeping up of who's viewing the listings on their website.
Yes.
But so many of us are not inviting and asking our clients to come to our websites and search. A lot of us have websites that have the IDX, that have listings on them. But it's one of those, if you don't invite them to your site and let them know and tell them to go, guess where they're going? They're going to Realtor.com, they're going to Zillow and that kind of stuff. And so why let them go? We know that our clients are wanting to see properties. Invite them to your websites. It is so crucial that you do this. It's really, really important, kind of thing. We're looking at home prices continuing to stay strong, mainly driven by high demand.
But we're also seeing some issue with appraisal, just so you know, listing agent. So if you're a listing agent, please pull the comp out before the appraiser goes out there. And if you have any upgrades on the property, please list them. Leave in the kitchen counter and let the appraiser know it is there for them to review. Because right now we have, you know, probably I would say about 5% of contract being terminated because of appraisal issue. So, you know, although that number is not huge, but it does make an impact.
Well, the other thing here is to make sure that you're having that conversation with your clients up front. You know, a lot of times you're like, well, you know, things are great, you know, let's just list it at this price. Well, the problem is that if you don't have that conversation in the beginning, that price is what's in their mind.
Right.
They're at that point, you know, this house is now worth $250. Well, guess what? The house is yes, the house will be worth whatever a buyer's willing to pay and get financed for. The majority of our buyers are not going to. So if it appraises at $235, the vast majority of buyers are not just going to throw an extra 15 grand on top of their mortgage. They're just not going to do that. And a lot of them don't have the ability to do that, to pull that kind of cash out.
Right.
Have those conversations with your clients in advance. Now, one thing that we are kind of watching and starting to be a little bit concerned about is what the long-term forecast is for the real estate market. And so this is that same one from CoreLogic, and they're looking at a 6% drop um, in the next year. And that's if we don't get our economy moving in the right direction. You know, we've been in a recession, and in the real estate world, we start feeling like, oh, things are really good because, you know, we have a ton of volume going on and that kind of stuff. But the reality is that the markets are not doing really, really well. And if that continues to not improve,
if it's not right, moving in the right
it
direction,
will impact real estate at some point. So we really do care about what's happening with the overall economy. And while it's very easy to just be like, oh, things here are rosy and we don't have anything to worry about, you know, the overall economy will begin to impact real estate if we don't, you know, if it doesn't improve, kind of thing. And that's where the unemployment rate, you know, on the positive side, you know, the St. Louis Fed says that he looks at the unemployment rate probably being falling in the range of 7%, which is probably a little bit optimistic, but you know, we keep seeing unemployment steadily decline. What's going to be interesting to see is what happens when the feds take away the federal money at the end of this month, kind of thing. How that's really going to impact us, kind of thing. So it's just one of those things we want to keep you abreast of and in the know.
All right, Dot Loop.
Dot Loop is now requiring agents to opt out of data sharing. And so if you are a Dot Loop user, we have some agents that are, and there's a lot of folks who watch this who are. We're not bashing Dot Loop, but the bottom line is that if you do not opt out, then they will be able to share your data,
which means your clients.
Yeah, with Zillow.
This is how Zillow sells back to us.
Well, but Zillow owns Dot Loop.
Yeah, I know.
And so, you know, they're saying third-party affiliates like Zillow, but really they're basically going to be able to take your
client.
Now they say they won't use the client data, but you know, we also remember the days when Zillow said they weren't going to be a brokerage either. So it's
so if you are using Dot Loop, please opt out.
Just opt out.
Your client.
Yes. We're not bashing anybody, but yeah, do opt out. You know, we had an agent that got let go because they showed a home where the clients were infected with COVID. And I think that's just ridiculous. You know, first of all, that should be disclosed. And you know, like, hey, these clients have come down with COVID-19. So I think people need to know that. We need to have our head on straight. Yes, the market is high. Yes, inventory is tight. In my opinion, that house should not have been listed until it was cleaned up, until everything was cured and the whole 9 yards
the
there.
Incubation period's
Be
over.
smart, folks.
Right.
Just use your heads and stop looking for the short-term gains, kind of thing. So we got to be really, really wise about that.
As real estate practitioner, our first priority job is to protect the public. So you need to keep that in mind as well.
We want to talk a little bit about consequences of social media. You know, these are some of the most recent headlines coming out of the real estate world. You know, this agent gets fired for saying this racist rant. These people got fired for, you know, because they don't like these people, all this kind of stuff. And there's a lot of things going on out there. And a lot of it happens as a result of what agents are doing on social media. And so we wanted to give some handy advice and just kind of 11 rules of engagement to avoid social media trouble. I don't want any of you to have this kind of trouble. And we need to just be really, really smart about what we're doing. So we're going to go over these 11 things real fast. First thing, avoid politics and religion. Now, this is going to be tough because what's happening later this year? You're in an election year. So it's really easy to go out there and be like, you know, if you support Donald Trump, you're a racist, kind of thing. Well, you know, now you've just alienated half your clients. Or if you're like, you know, Joe Biden is this. Half your clients are now aggravated at you. And we are so polarized as a country. It's not good to do that. Same thing with religion. Avoid politics and religion. We don't have to bring that into it. Next thing is make sure that you are not racist or biased in any way. We have to be very careful of using words like they in any of our social media like they did this, they did that. Who is they? We have to be very, very careful about using the word they, because a lot of times that comes across as being racist, on that kind of stuff. So, we have to be careful of how our posts and how our information is
being
seen.
shared as
Right.
well.
You know,
Because sometimes you can share something that might not be political or biased or racial, but the comments that follow may be.
Yep.
And that because it's your post, it reflects on you.
Yep. Nothing is private. Okay. And if you say one stupid thing, understand somebody's going to screen share it, somebody's going to share it, and it's out there. Okay. Nothing is private. The reason it's called social media because it's social and it goes out there. It is not private media. It is social media and it goes out there kind of thing. So make sure that, on anything you comment on, your photos, videos, anything out there.
And also, I know some agent has set up some Facebook where it's closed group. I love y'all and all, but you really don't express that in Facebook.
Well, you need to be very careful with that.
Even if it's a closed group, because just think about it, if somebody was mad at you, they can use that against you at the end of the day. Yeah. And whether it's today, 5 years down the road, when you're trying to run a political campaign or do something else, all I'm saying, don't put anything out there that's negative.
Yep. I really like number 4, follow the golden rule. That one is such a great, do unto others as you would like for them to do unto you kind of thing. With social media, sometimes we can get worked up into a tizzy, but when you remember that this is how I want other people to treat me, then it comes back.
And just remember, there's always two sides of every story. Yep. Unless you get the full picture, don't judge before you understand. But at the same time, do you really want to be involved?
Yep. Don't spam. Everybody hates spam.
Delete.
Yeah. That's how you get avoided on social media. So spamming is not good. Yeah, you can send your newsletters. You can share information, but we've all have those friends that most of them are in like multi-level marketing kind of thing. And it's like, yes, I know how great this all is. Just don't spam folks. Be very careful with the humble brag. We love to celebrate our clients' success, but I think the agents need to do less personal bragging. Sold $1 million this year, did 50 million, 47 transactions, Nobody cares. I mean, that's about you kind of thing. But now if you're celebrating a client success, that's the way to be kind of thing. You need to make this about other people and not necessarily about you versus how great you're doing.
So at the end of the day, you want to celebrate your client getting the home. If it's a long road, tell about the struggles and then who helped you along the way. Because things like this make people appreciate it more than anything else.
Yep. Next one is humor. You have to be careful with humor, because humor is one of those things that's the easiest way to really mess things up. I post things that I find that are just kind of weird and quirky and sometimes in my mind funny. And sometimes people would go, look at that and go, Alan, what's wrong with you? Like seriously, were you dropped as a child kind of thing? Because, what you may find funny, not everyone does. So just be very careful about humor. Edgy humor is even more, you need to be even more careful with for how it can be portrayed. So just you kind of want to watch yourself on there. Number 8 is don't be a keyboard warrior. And really what that is talking about how much you comment. One of the things that we love to teach is that we teach the 10-10-10 method for social media. And that's where you spend 10 minutes creating content and sharing that. Then you spend 10 minutes going down, your news feeds and commenting on that. And then 10 minutes going across on stories. And so that's a really great way to be. But when you do that, you're spending a lot of time commenting and posting. And sometimes you can find yourself in the middle of a very heated, we'll call it discussion, but you got to be very careful because those kind of things as well can come back and burn you right on the tush, kind of thing. Number 9 should be fairly evident, but you are in real estate, so there's a good chance that a lot of times you'll have a glass of wine. Don't post while drinking. You start getting those posts that you really regret the next morning, kind of thing. It's a different kind of walk of shame. So, try and separate the business and the personal. Yes, well, we need the personal for engagement, but the business is really, what we're there to do, and try and drive that. Try and keep them separate, but also just be very careful in there. And then number 11 is the wrap up, and that's just be nice. People like nice people. People like hanging out and engaging and doing business. When the basic layout for how we get business is first we get known, then we get liked, and then we get trusted. So getting known, and step 2 is getting liked, and everyone likes the nice person. If you're a real a-hole or an unpleasant person, it's tough to, who wants to work with that person, kind of thing, unless you're looking for like a really nasty attorney. I don't know why that would be a great trait for a real estate agent. So
before we go, just want to make a couple comments from a compliance standpoint. Make sure you dot all your I, cross all your T's. Give out the brochure to your clients. Those brochures are pre-written, and they will help you lessen your liability. We also have create service recommendation. Please make sure you use those, because it's going to help you. If you're consistent with it, it's going to help you along the way. And also, because all the property are under contract within a very short amount of time, please don't skip over some of the stuff, because material relationship is always need to be disclosed, even if it's non-available or non-applicable. So little things like that. And earnest money, y'all, right now I'm having issue with attorneys not signing the F511 or the RE253, which is the escrow holder agreement. So just think about it. If you basically told someone that, hey, you're holding earnest money, but that someone has no acknowledgement of it, and let's say this transaction went down the tube, okay, what happens then? The client can actually sue you for this if there's no earnest money delivered. So I want y'all to be very, very careful with earnest money, and because it's a trust fund, it's highly regulated, okay? So dot your I, cross your T's.
Yep. Well, thank you very much. Please reach out to us if we can be of service. You can find, these videos, of course, at Real Estate Backstory on our podcast. You can schedule an appointment with us at calendly.com/MX1 Partners, or just send email, text, smoke signals. We answer it all. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and we hope that you guys have a great week.
Happy Monday. Take care.
Bye now.